Hello and welcome along to the shed. Hashtag Irish Bills Mafia with me, Trevor. You're very welcome along to the show. I'm doing the show a little bit earlier this morning or today, just for a change to get it out there so people across here can see it and gives the friends in America a chance to have a look at it too a bit earlier. It's not a bad day here. It was very wet this morning, but it's dried up nicely, so we're happy out now at the minute. So for today's show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something kind of different. As I go into the season, I will be talking about Bills on a Tuesday and a Thursday, but I'll also be talking other NFL stories and news and things like that as well that come up and pop up during the season. So what I've done today is I had originally six head coaches, maybe general managers that are in trouble, but I've now upped it to seven. Now, I'm not talking about the Bills because being a Bills fan, I'm not going to put any pessimism or too much optimism into the season or too much want. I'm just going to support the team, take it game by game, and then we'll see what we get. We are a newish team. We've lost a lot of senior players, so I unless Sean McDermott gets it totally wrong and blows it, then I don't think he'll be under any pressure, regardless how the season turns out. So therefore, you have to put out the happy side and the positive side and aim for that and go for that. But I have now seven teams. I had six, but I now have seven teams. So I think that if they don't at least make the playoffs or go further, that their head coaches definitely and maybe their general managers might be in trouble come the end of the season. That's part one. I'm going to talk a little bit then about upcoming news that has happened the last few days in the NFL. There's not much major news for me. There's plenty happening, but I have two items I want to talk about. And then I'm going to talk about the game coming up at the weekend against the Steelers. And finally, I'm just going to end it with a little reminder about the competition. That's so far we have 22, so I'm very happy. And if we get a few more, even better. Well, I'll explain a bit more then about that at the end. So, folks, you're welcome along to the show. So, what I'm going to talk about is I have, for me, and excluding the Bills, seven head coaches definitely that if they don't make the playoffs at least could be in bother come the end of the season. Um, I tied that in. Some of them have general managers that might be in the same boat, but it's mainly the head coaches I'm looking at this minute in time. So, who are they? Now, this has nothing to do with bias or anything like that. I always look at things as a neutral ground, that I'm not a Bills fan and I'm looking at the teams in our division and go, oh yeah, I don't like you, so I'm going to hit you. It's nothing like that. But I do have the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, right? Why do I say that? Because everyone raves about Mike McDaniels and his coaching and the weapons they have and all that. So let's call a spade a spade. They have an amazing offense. They have Tua Tagovailoa, who is one of the highest paid quarterbacks now in the NFL and has proven himself over the last 2 years to a point that he can bring the team to a certain level. Wide receivers, I'm not going to name them all, but they've got two massive ones, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Um, these two guys have been doing it again for 2 years. Then you have Raheem Mostert and Achan as running backs. And again, two of the best running backs in the NFL. Now, their defense have taken a bit of a pounding this year, and they did have a lot of injuries last year. But why I say McDaniels is under pressure is because they've now paid these three guys, Tua, Tariq Hill, and Jalen Waddle, huge money. And I know the cap gets bigger every year, but it's also taken out of the cap what they're getting paid. And yes, the Tua contract isn't going to affect them yet for a while, but it will in the end. And if he doesn't, now he's made the playoffs the last 2 years and lost in the first wildcard weekend, Bills and to the Chiefs. If they don't win a playoff game this year, I think his job will be seriously looked at come the end of the season. Yes, he should make the playoffs in paper wise, but we know what paper can mean. But They have to make the playoffs, and I think for him to be safe, not about winning the Super Bowl. If they do, they do. But I think he has to at least win one playoff game for this coming year. So that's why I have the Miami Dolphins as one of my picks. These are not in any order. These are just how I did them out. Number two, again, it's from the AFC East. Nothing biased. New York Jets. Again, go back to where Mike McDaniels is with the Dolphins. It's the same for Robert Saleh at the Jets. They got Aaron Rodgers. Yes, they only got 4 plays out of him last year, but they built everything around to get to a Super Bowl. You take one player out. Yes, he's a quarterback that has a very good football and reputation and has won a Super Bowl, but one player, they looked awful after that. Their defense kept them in games last year, and their offense was shocking, whether you put it down to just not caring or not wanting or just going, oh, we lost Aaron Rodgers, that's it, the season's over, which I don't accept if I was a Jets fan. But they are in an awful state. So now, come fast forward this season, Aaron Rodgers is fit, right? They have Garrett Wilson, they have Reese Hall at running back, they have Alan Lazard at wide receiver as well, and they have Aaron Rodgers, and they have multiple others on offense and defense. And I think that if they don't, now for Mike McDaniels, it's about winning a playoff game. But for Robert Saleh, if they don't at least make the playoffs, I think himself and Joe Douglas could be in bother come, definitely him, come the end of the season. Now, even if Aaron Rodgers gets a fluke injury or a freak injury, and I don't wish injury at any player, so I'm not looking towards that, what he did last year or how he comes out of his injury when the games are coming thick and fast. Everyone will be fresh for week one, but then come three, four, and five, players will be getting tired and back into it. Um, then we'll see how Aaron Rodgers is playing. But for me, the New York Jets are a team that, for Robert Saleh to say I'm safe for 2025 season, he'd need to at least be making the playoffs with what he has. The third team is not in the AFC East, so is the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints, right? Why do I put them there? Because I think Dennis Allen is lucky to be in his position again this year. They went and got Derek Carr. They have Chris Olave. They have Kamara, and they have a very strong defense. And I don't know what happened last year when the car wasn't clicking right or things weren't working right, but they were, kind of shocking at times. And they have invested heavily in this team. And I think if Dennis Allen doesn't get the New Orleans Saints to at least the playoffs this year, like Robert Saleh, I think he could be in bother come the end of the season. Next team in the same division as the New Orleans Saints, Todd Bowles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, um, I think they have to win at least one, if not two, playoff games this year. They did well last year, but Baker Mayfield is now set. Mike Evans is there. Chris Godwin is there. They're loaded. They can play football. They have a good footballing team. And I think he's under a little bit of pressure to at least get to the championship game. Now, they lost to Detroit, I think, handily enough last year in the divisional round. So they need to get to at least that this year for him to say, I have 2025 as well to look forward to. Because I think that anything less, and I couldn't see the Buccaneers saying, here's another season. They're not rebuilding, they have the team. They're looking to push on this year and see where it gets them. Now, the next team is an NFC team, the New York Giants. The New York Giants. I watched Hard Knocks the beginning of the season with them, Joe Shane and Brian Dable, and it was very interesting stuff to watch behind the scenes with them. And I think they are a franchise that are at least needing to make the playoffs. Now, whether they will or won't, I don't know. But I heard their um, one of their presidents or owners come out and say that he's given them the rope. They have to deliver, and if they don't deliver, well, it changes. So I think they're under pressure. Saquon Barkley left them. I don't think the hierarchy there above them are happy about that. Saquon Barkley wasn't happy, but he's gone to the Eagles. Now they've replaced him with Devin Singletary. Daniel Jones is back, and they got Malik Neighbors in the um, now Neighbors will be an amazing prospect, but it's a lot of pressure to put on a rookie wide receiver to start, like we were on with Keon Coleman. And I think he will do well, but will he be good enough, with Darius Slayton to bring them to a playoff at least and give Brian Dable and Joe Shane another go for 2025? So I think they're under pressure, and I think Hard Knocks showed that, and I think the statements afterwards addressed that as well. That they have to deliver. And my sixth team is in the NFC East as well. It's the right way around. Is the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Philadelphia Eagles are there because of the implosion from last year. They were 10-1, and then they were just awful. And yes, they've changed uh, coaches, but Nick Sirianni wasn't changed, and I think he's a guy that's under fierce pressure. And if they get off to a bad start this year, I don't know which like he's got Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley now as running back, plus many others. Then you know they at least need to be making the playoffs and getting past wild card weekend and showing, because last year when they played Tampa they didn't even show up, and for all the talent that they have, they were a kick away from winning the Super Bowl 2 years ago, to going to 10-1 the following season, and then just something happened. And it was something serious behind the scenes, because things like that, yes, you lose a few games, but you don't go from 10-1 to just limping into the playoffs and then no fight whatsoever when you get there. So that's why I have the Philadelphia Eagles in. Then I was going through my stuff, and I said that's my six teams now. But then there was one more that just kept sticking its head up. So I said I'd make it to seven, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. And the reason I have the Dallas Cowboys in is not because of how their regular season is, but how their playoff is. And also the way that, I don't know, they're messing around Jerry Jones. I know it's Mike McCarthy that'll probably suffer from it, but it's Jerry Jones and his leadership that is messing around with the likes of CD Lamb, with the likes of Micah Parsons, with Dak Prescott's contracts, and either pay them or release them or trade them or do something, but don't be leaving them in limbo, because at the end of the day, they're the guys you want to go out every Sunday to battle for you. And if you don't give them the trust, then they ain't going to do it for you, and respect, and say, right, well, you're my main man. I'm going to pay you because you do this job. And I just think that it, it's not unlike the others. I can, if they have bad seasons, you can go, well, it's on these guys. For Mike McCarthy, I think it's on Jerry Jones, because he has to carry him. Now he knew that he's an experienced coach when he went in to the Dallas Cowboys, but for me, I just think that it's the Jerry Jones factor that will be either the reason he'll be a success, or he'll be gone by next season. So there are my seven teams. Let me know what you think. Have you any other teams that I should have looked at or put in, or for different? And as I said, I'm not doing the Bills. I know what I want. I know what other fans want, as in they want everything, but I know what I want to see from my team. I don't want to see the half effort that was in last weekend, even though they weren't first teamers. I still want to see my team go out and play every weekend and try. And I think Sean McDermott seen that last weekend and he wasn't happy. So I'll take it game by game. We're a rebuilding team as such, not a major rebuild, but a rebuild. And yes, I want to get to the playoffs, and yes, I want to challenge for the Super Bowl, but these aren't things I'm looking at the minute. I'm looking at the Arizona Cardinals as my first game, and then we'll take it from there and see how that goes. Now, just in other news, so yesterday it was reported that JJ McCarthy, the rookie quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, well, he is now out for the season. He had knee surgery to repair meniscus. I hope I said that right on his knee, and he's now been ruled out for the season. So I wish JJ all the best. I was looking forward to see him play for the Vikings at some stage this year because he is an exciting quarterback and he is one of the top rookies that were brought in. But Sam Darnold now will have the Vikings quarterback role for the season. So good luck to Sam and the Vikings. Then it was a bit of a trade last night, or broke last night. Matthew Judon, he was traded to the Falcons from the Patriots. Now, he got injured last year, but for the Patriots, he was one of their top defenders. He's a linebacker that can hurt you many ways, get to the quarterback, break down plays, and so on. What I find funny about it is he was stalling with the Patriots because of a contract issue and why he wanted to get paid more. They didn't want to pay him more. But he signed for the Falcons and there's no new contract. And it's sort of like Hassan Reddick at the New York Jets. You know, you're gone there, you signed for them, but they haven't given you any more money or that here's a better deal or what. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the next few months. Or will he end up doing something similar like Hassan Reddick? And, you know, it's a mess for everyone. And again, that's another thing for the Jets to look at is Joe Douglas and Robert Sala and the Hassan Reddick thing. That if they have a failed season, this won't help them either. So now we're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's Saturday night, midnight here, so I'm working this weekend, so I won't be watching it. But I'll get the highlights the next day, and I'll catch up on what I have missed. Um, but what I am looking for, whether it happens or not, is the following that I didn't see last weekend. When our first team players are playing, I want to see a plan. When our second and third string players are playing, I want to see 100% given, and I don't want to see a debacle like last weekend because to me it was. It wasn't the score, and it was it. I know it wasn't a competition or whatever, but it was something that if you go out and put on your jersey, you're playing for that jersey, whether it's only for one game or for the season or for 10 seasons or 100 seasons or whatever. You're playing in a position where me or other people or other fans or would dream about, and you're representing us, whether it be a challenge game, a championship game, or whatever. And last weekend, then players went out, and it could be down to the coaches, it could be down to themselves, but it was pathetic. And it was the manner and the ease. A, the Bears' defense wiped out our offense, and A and B, the Bears' offense went through our defense as if it wasn't there. And that wasn't good enough. So I'm hoping to see improvements and I'm hoping to see more of a game plan. And if the starters are starting, give them a quarter or give them a half and then take them off and then put on your other guys and tell them, well, if you want their jobs, you have to show me. You know, that's the whole point. But I do not want to see that last weekend. And I don't care if we win or lose the game. Um, it's only a challenge match. I want to win. That's my competitive edge. Always want to win, but it doesn't always happen. But you want to see you leave everything up in the field and then walk off the field and say, I can do no more. So that's what I'm looking for. But on other news, with the Steelers, um, I was watching their game last weekend and I heard that they are looking to have an NFL game in Ireland or Mexico. One of the Roonies was saying for 2025. Now he says down to the league itself, but to hear that being said means that there is a chance of an NFL game being played in Dublin come 2025, a regular season game. and that's massive news for Ireland. So, like I am a Bills fan, and I will be a Bills fan, but to hear the Steelers are coming is only going to make the NFL grow here in Ireland. Like the Roonies are pushing for it, so the Roonies want it. So whether it's up to the NFL now to let them have it, and hopefully they will. But I don't care who the Steelers are playing. With the help of God, if they come to Ireland, I'll be up to see it. It'll be a one in a lifetime chance to see an NFL game in your own country. I hope it's the Bills. We'll always keep our fingers crossed. But it is big news, and it's down to the work of a lot of people. But from the podcast side of the point of view, you have NFL Network or the NFL Ireland, sorry, Michael McQuaid and Mark Hogan and their people working behind the scenes to build the NFL here in Ireland. You have Jimmy English at Gaelic Gridiron working his socks off with his team to grow the NFL in Ireland, and there's others as well. But these are two that I follow, admire, listen to, and learn from, and to see the way they have brought the NFL, promoted it, and grew it here in Ireland with their hard work is a testament and credit to them. So that's why if they come, I cannot wait. Hopefully they will, but it will be down amongst others, but for me, to these people for all their work they're putting in. And finally, today, folks, I just want to remind you about the competition I'm running. So it's to do with the predictions of each game each week. So it's free to enter. So closing day is 31st of August. So what you do is just contact me via Twitter here or Instagram. All my information is going across the bottom there. And say you want to enter, I just send you the instructions. It's straightforward. You get a point for each correct entry. I'll send you out the games every Tuesday. You have to send them back to me at the times mentioned in the instructions before the first game on the Thursday. Then I'll give out the scores at the weekend. It's 1 point per correct entry. It's a half a point if a game ends in overtime or a tie. And the person with the most points after 18 game weeks in the regular season wins a one of a kind Irish Bills Mafia hoodie, mug, and keyring. So it's free to enter. It's a bit of crack, but it's about bringing people together, bringing the NFL fans together. So far, I have people entered from California to the UK. I have Bills fans, a Cardinal fan, Steelers fans, a Chief fan, a Patriot fan, a Jaguars fan. The more the merrier. You're all welcome. It's just for a bit of crack. Uh, I won't be setting up a group. It'll just be if I follow you or you follow me or interact through Twitter, you'll get your instructions there. If you interact with me through Instagram, we'll get the instructions there, and that's how it works. And there's a few people I know from WhatsApp, and I'll WhatsApp them. But there's three ways to contact me. Please do. It's a bit of crack. Uh, we have an NFL footballer legend in it. We have big podcast people in it. It is, you know, uh, these guys know their stuff, so it'll be a competition to take on these guys as well as a competition to win. But it'll be for a laugh. And lastly, about it, the person that does finish at the bottom will receive a wooden spoon. So uh, you might need a wooden spoon; it'd be good. But if not, it's for the bit of crack. So that's it, folks. So that's my video for today, and that's my video for this week. So I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please like and subscribe and comment anything you want me to talk about or go through in the coming weeks. I'll be doing another video again, hopefully on Tuesday. Please God. And until then, as always, stay safe, stay happy, to stay together, and go Bills.